Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Lisa, and today I'm going to show you how I have a surefire way that I like to make book pages or clusters or tags, journal cards, etc. These are kind of being focused on as probably being side tucks or pockets, the way I've made them, because they are empty on the back, but I could definitely cover these up to make journal card, but I've kind of leaned them more toward being pockets. So the 5 things that I find work very well for making this kind of ephemera is you have background papers, you have a trim, etc., something going in opposite direction to give a little bit of contradiction. You have a focal point, butterfly flower, this thing, and then you have 2 supporting focal points. Now this one's a little bit bigger, so you can say which one's a focal point, but you have focal point 2, focal point 2, focal point 2. So you have 5 things: paper, contrasting trim, focal point, and 2 extra little pieces just to tie it all together. So let's make a few. All right, I am starting out with book pages on these, some sort of base, throwaway. This is a dictionary. This is a book page. This was a piece of music paper. These 2 I've glued together. What I've done is taken whatever book page I have and folded it in half and glued it together just to give it some strength. Now, these really don't have to be anything fancy because they're mostly getting covered up, but the fun part about putting a book page or something is when you put the paper on, and I'll show you with one I did here, like when I did this as a book page, the title and one of the lines is leaning out just to give a little bit of fun there. This one is hard to see, but there is a few letters sticking out of the book page there and there. So depending on what you use, you can have something stick out and be a little bit more fun. Okay, if it's too big, like this book page, when you fold it in half and you wanted to make it a pocket, this is what, 6 inches? 6 inches. You can go ahead and trim it down. But these 3 are fairly small to start, so I don't think I'm going to worry about trimming them down. And it looks like I'm going to need a new glue stick. All right, first new glue stick. Okay, so I have pulled out some papers, and I took them from, I have my box of strips, but I pulled them out just to make it a little faster. And I kind of tried to keep them on a colorway so that they kind of blend together. My 3 samples that I made already, this had teals and greens to go with the focal point. This had greens and pinks on there, and this one was this light minty with black, which kind of went with that focal point. Now, believe it or not, this background got together before I found that, and it worked perfectly. It had teal and black. I did search for a pink and green flower, and I did find that, and I did search for a teal butterfly, but this was just kind of haphazard. So you can start with either finding your focal point and then finding papers, or whichever way you want to do it. All right, so all I'm going to do is just glue these down to the paper. Now you can do it one of 2 ways. You can glue the paper, the book, or glue this. This probably is going to end up being too wide, but I'm going to put it all the way to the bottom, and I think I'm going to leave probably that number sticking out at the top. We'll see how that goes. And this is probably a little too big, so I think I'm going to cut this down. Or is this enough? Maybe I won't use that. I pulled extra papers. Maybe I won't use it. I won't use it. I'm not going to use that one. Okay. I am going to build this on top of each other so that there is strength to the book page, because it is definitely a thinner book. All right, I'm going to put that down there. And then I'm going to put this and put that on top of there. Okay. Now I am making them probably longer than I need to for the book page. The ones that I did the samples, I left long so they hang off. Kind of reminds me of the pockets that I made with the like picket fence on the top. This is kind of like picket fence on the bottom. But I think it adds a little bit of fun. Can't put it straight though because you can't see. It adds a little fun too. Yep, there we go. Put that in the center. It's a little fun too, not making it a straight pocket. Put it this way. Because I got a rough end on that side, I got a rough end on that side. So it really is just haphazard. If I want to make it a little bit shorter, I can. But when I go to put it in whatever journal I have, since this is about 5 3/4, I can snip it down even farther and make it shorter. But that is it for that. And I'm going to just glue the other papers real quick, and then we will find the focal points to go with it. Now this one's a little bit different because the number's going sideways, or the music's going this way, but I think I am still going to glue it this way and cover it up more and not worry about it. Yeah, you air tidy too. All right, this one I found a lot more red stuff. I thought it'd be fun maybe as a kind of a Christmassy kind of one. Or just red flowers. You are the same. I'm going to use you. Oh, I got that side too. All right, I think I'm going to use that side. Decisions when they're double-sided, right? 2 plaids, but I think it'll be okay. I think I'm going to put these words down the center. Oops. You never know when something's going to come in handy. This was one of those branding strips that I cut off. All right. And now I'll put that on top. Yeah, I think I will keep that. Even though it's facing a different direction, I think I'm okay with that. Okay, and I won't be using that or the rest of that. Yeah, little pieces. All right, last one. Got these yellow ones, and I did pull out a book page just in case. It's got yellows and blues and the B's. I might have to track down a B focal point for this one. All right, I'm gonna put this up one line so the book page shows on the bottom. So I hope your day is going well today. I was busy working on stuff for my Etsy shop with my laser the past 2 days, and I was having such issues and such problems getting it to work, and I finally got it to work. there was an issue with, I don't know if you've seen, if you have Apple stuff, iPads, there's a new upgrade for iOS 26 software, whatever you want to call it, update version. And I think that was having a problem with it. It was causing it issues. So, I'm gonna put up a little higher, and I'm going to put this pencil between it. Yeah, so I think that was the issue. But I got it resolved, so. I'm going to cut that end off. Another one of those branding strips with the hole in the center. And I'm going to cut it up a little longer. Okay. Blues and yellows, bees and purples. Beautiful. All right, so I'm going to clean this up and pause the video, and I'm going to come back with the focal points and pieces to go on top of there. Okay, I am back. So I think I am going to just, because these are a little bit, ooh, almost lost it, a little bit darker, I'm going to just ink the top of this. And the other thing I did do on a couple of them was just to nip the corner a little bit, just to make it look a little less new. And occasionally just nip the corner of one of the things that came out, depending on how it looked, just to age it up a little bit. There we go. Okay, so for this one, I'm taking a piece of, for my trim, I have a piece of fabric that was from those tassels that I just did. And I'm gonna glue with some fabric tack. When I was ripping those tassels, the pieces that were a little extra, I've gotten a little pile over here next to me, and see how that comes in handy? I just saw that one. I put both of them. I'm going to put this one down first, see how it looks. I'm going to add it. Oops. Helpful if I take the cap off. Oops. Stuck my thumb. There we go. I like it because it has the stripes that are similar to the stripes on the two plaids and that, so it really ties it in well. Okay. I got strings of glue. All right, so I cut this, and I've got this. Put this down first, so the flower goes on top. These are about the same size, but I'm gonna call the flower the focal point. And this is the second focal point. And I'm gonna have it go on top of the flowers, or on top of the ribbon. No reason why it can't overlap a little bit. And I'm going to get the second we'll use this one, the second smaller little extra piece. And we'll put it right down there. And kind of hides the fact that I cut this, there was stems and etc. coming down from there that I cut off. So this kind of hides the fact that the flower has ended. Got a little bit of Fabri-Tac poking through, but I think it should dry clear or rub off. Seems to be rubbing off. Okay, a little bit of string, and like I said, if it's a little too wide, I can go and cut it down a little bit, make a pocket. I could back it if I wanted to make it some sort of tuck and journal spot. But there we go. If I want to make it a pocket, I can always go in and also put the half circle, make a little thumb hole. Okay, let's go on to the next one. All right, so for this one, I have this washi tape, and I'm going to put it going this way. But actually, there's the words going the correct way. I think I'm going to put it on this side just to change it up a little bit. And I'm just going to fold it over just to make life easier. Now this is like a tidbit from a Tim Holtz bundle I have. Just going to nip the edges off. And I picked it because it's got similar colors, but it says penmanship as the big focal word. And there's the pencils, so penmanship pens. And I also have a bee. I'm going to put the bee on here. Probably up there. All right, so let's put that to the side, and let's glue this down and then glue the bee. I was thinking about having a bee be more of the focal point because of the bee paper. But I couldn't find a big enough bee to really make it look like it was a focal point per se. And then I saw this that said penmanship and it had very similar colors, so I'm like, that's perfect. I'm going to add a little glue to the bee. All right, I'm going to just cover up the corner of that. It has the number 2. Still see the bee down there. Still see the pencils peeking out. Again, same thing. If I want to make it into a journal card or a tag or something, I could just redo the back at some point. Otherwise, again, trim it down, make it a pocket or a tuck spot. But simple, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, need my 5. Need my 5th. And a different one. I think instead of a tidbit, should I do one of these? Even though I probably should stop because I'm using them all up. All right, let's use the number 4. No reason why. I just like the circle with it square. Okay. All right, papers 1, washi 2, focal point 3, subfocal points 4 and 5. 5 pieces. All right, let's do the last one. Now these are strips I found a long time ago on Temu. Last time I used them, I had somebody ask, and I keep forgetting. I think I've seen them pop up on Amazon. So if I see them again, I will link them. But they're fun. They're like little washi strips. They're little thin strips that got put together on papers. There's florals and frames and film strips and words and butterflies. It's just whole wild bunch of stuff, but this one I thought was cool. It's this crack flower, and I'm thinking of putting it farther down and just wrapping that back. All that's on the bottom is like newspaper print. I'm not sure what a crack flower is, but there's a little butterfly there. I think that'll work good. I found this a set of floral. It was actually on the same page as the butterfly. It's got pink and red, and I've got this sub ruler, which I thought was a great color to go with it as my other focal point. So we're going to go with that, and then I'll just need to find a last tidbit to put on there for it. But yeah, so pretty simple. Contrasting. I think I'm going to put it on this side because the way this is flat, and I'm going to wrap that little flower that's on the top around. All right, so that's going to go on that side, and you are going to go on that side. Beautiful. Little butterfly on the top. I love it. Okay, and so the question is, do I want the ruler to go on top of the flower or below the flower. I think I'm going to have it go on the bottom of the flower as like a, almost looks like a pot. But I'm going to put it over here. Give a little space between. And yeah, I'm going to put it down there. Perfect. That'll be perfect. I think I'm going to just ink the edge a little. It's a little white. This was, I had those stamps I found recently that had rulers on them. And then I just took one of my alcohol markers and colored it in. But it was on white paper, so perfect. Let's glue. Yeah, I like how it kind of buries the stem on the bottom. Okay, one last bit and we'll do a tidbit. All right, and I'm thinking something maybe with red. Oh, I don't want numbers because there's numbers there. So something with red that's more words. Void after time punched. A little bit big. I'm thinking this might work a little bit. It's got numbers and letters. Or do I go with, whoops, well, you're much bigger. Just go with one of those. Okay, just go with one of those because there's words here, numbers here, and that's just kind of like a, I say it's kind of like a, not a stamp, but like a mark that you would use, a maker's mark or something. What they look like. They're not totally legible. They're so tiny, but still add a bit of character to it. I think I'm going to put it over there. All right. Well, I think this is going to be it for me. Hopefully you got some ideas to make your own, I'm going to ink that, own journal cards. And I've said this before when I've kind of mass make other things, that if you come up with the formula and stick with that, you can make things a lot faster. But they all end up looking different. So even though these all have the same ideas, they all look a little bit different. Yeah, so they all have their trims on down the side. They all have their major focal point. They all have their secondary focal points. That would be one of those. And the extra little guy that goes with it on a book page. I love it. Okay, well, that is going to be it for me today. I hope you, like I said before, got something fun out of this. And if you have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear your take on this. Okay, that's it for me today. Thanks so much for stopping by, and hope you all have a wonderful and creative day. Bye for now.